Who thinks professional sports are rigged, listen to this. So the most common trope I've heard recently in the last couple of years is, did you know that the NFL and the NBA are registered under entertainment? And out of all the different rigged or scripted, conspiracy theories, this one is kind of interesting. Oh, it's entertainment. It's not registered as a professional sport league. And it is interesting, but when you think about it, it has some major holes once you dig beneath the surface. So first off, the WWE, the quote-unquote scripted sport league, and WWE it's openly fake, so that's not really a hot take for me. There isn't gambling on the WWE. That's where it gets really murky on if you do believe that this is all scripted, because that means that there are script writers, thousands of people with knowledge, all the owners, all the players, and any of them could gamble and get unlimited money because they know the script. So Vegas has two teams at a 50-50 chance to win. Well, you're a player, you're a player's wife, you're a player's wife's girlfriend, your ex... there are probably 100,000 people who are closely related to an NFL player, a coach, an owner. So many different tentacles of people who know what the script would be. So that's the first major red flag. And some people are like, oh, well, when NFL players gamble, they get caught. My first question is, why aren't they winning? Why are these guys losing their bets if they have the script? And second off, they can't catch everybody. If a player tells his wife and then her wife gossips and then another guy at the bar hears it, it's like, are we really, how many layers deep are we going? Can no one gamble on these sports? So that's the first thing. It's like, okay, well, seems kind of like an instant money glitch. Now, and I've said this recently, but the league, obviously, if it's scripted, their whole goal is to make as much money as possible. And that is their goal. Their goal is to make as much money as possible. But there are some bounds to it. And the way that they currently are making as much money as possible is trying to put the most entertaining, real NBA and NFL product on the court and on the field. But if they were to be scripting it, which is what a lot of these people say is, the script was written before the season and they know who's going to win it, why are the major markets not dominating or at least getting, a per capita championship? Because, it can't be too obvious, but the major markets, New York City. When was the last time the Knicks, the Nets, the Jets, or the Giants won a championship? The Giants won one in 2012, so the 2011 NFL season, I believe. And those are four of the biggest sporting teams in the world. And they haven't won anything in over 10 years. You go down to Miami, one of the bigger markets. The Heat haven't won anything in 10 plus years. The Dolphins haven't won anything in a while. You go over to Dallas. You go over to Chicago. You go over to LA. Why are these... And, LA had the Lakers in 2020, and then they also had the Rams in 2021. So, out of all these major markets, we have 2 championship winners in the last 10 years. That's well below what is expected, especially if we were rigging these leagues. You would think that they would at least win an average amount, but these teams are below average. All the teams in New York City, both Chicago teams are below average. It doesn't make sense. And then, even if you were to be able to do all this and the gambling checks out and you can keep the script under wraps, how in the world are you able to orchestrate these exact outcomes? Per se, you think that the NFL is like the Chiefs will go 15-1 and then lose in the Super Bowl. Well, you just amped up the talent level of all these NFL players by a magnitude of 10. Because for them to, obviously these guys are very talented, they're big, they're fast, they're athletic, etc. But now you're saying that they're even better than we thought, because at any moment, based upon the script, they can do anything. These guys aren't even athletes, they're superhuman gods, because at any point, they can make a shot. In the NBA, the script says we're going to blow a 28-point lead, and you're going to hit 7 straight threes. 7 straight threes... just by chance doesn't happen very often. But now you're saying that this can happen on demand, which makes it infinitely more just astonishing. And then obviously you have why do some owners accept never winning, and why do some players accept never winning, and why do some players accept blowing out their knee, or why do some players accept getting paralyzed? So many of these things really don't make much sense, and it's like no one has spoken out. No player, no coach, no owner, nobody has any proof. I mean, legitimately, the only quote-unquote proof we have is occasionally a player will know their prop bet and they'll try to hit the bet. I don't really think that's all that crazy. I would almost kind of expect that. An NBA player, their over-under is 19.5 points and they're at 19 and they shoot a layup to get over. It's like, okay, I mean, is that really rigging the game? I mean, the outcome's obviously not determinative by that, or no one would be allowing them to score a layup in garbage time. But is a player trying to get extra yards or extra points, is that like rigging sports? I wouldn't say so. Or a player, they're up by 4 and the other team has no timeouts and it's under 2 minutes, and they break off a big run for first down and just fall down instead of scoring a touchdown. It's like a lot of people will freak out and say that's rigged. It's like, no. Their goal is to win the game. Sometimes if the game's already locked up, they'll stat pad a little bit. I don't think that's proof of rigging, but I mean if you couldn't gamble on sports, it would be maybe conceivable to rig some aspects, not the full thing. The full thing being scripted is just not possible. But before sports gambling became a thing, and there was just less media attention in general, I could see some, the referees are told, yeah, we're going to make sure LA and New York are in the finals. I could see, the referees being told, yeah, we're going to do everything possible. I could see that. But with sports gambling being involved, it's like, how? Because if anyone, like for XYZ fan, you always see these guys after the game. It's always after the game. They're like, man, I just knew those Chiefs. I knew they would win. The NFL wants them to win because Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are in the Illuminati, and the Chiefs are going to win every single game because of that Illuminati connection. And then you're like, man, you must be living nice in that mansion you've got. And they're like, oh no, I don't have any money. And we're like, and I'm thinking, well, how? Because you predicted the Chiefs would win every game, and they went 17-2. So if you bet them to win every game, you'd be making a lot of money. And it's like, okay, I'm just calling the bullshit. It's like, you think these leagues are rigged, bet on who's going to win. Oh, you don't know who's going to win. Okay, that's convenient. So all roads lead to Rome is essentially what these people are saying. Regardless of who wins, regardless of what happens, because every game, someone's going to go over or under their total. In some game, in like some of the prop bets of every game, Vegas will win some bets, Vegas will lose some bets. And when I say win or lose, sometimes the public bets 70% on one team to win, and Vegas obviously hopes the other team wins so that they can be profitable. But within every game, some things hit for Vegas, some things don't hit for Vegas. It's just, and obviously some team wins every game, some team loses every game, but these guys that will say it's rigged, regardless of what happens, the game is rigged. Because if Patrick Mahomes wins, the game is rigged. If he loses, they wanted to rig it, but they wanted to throw us off the trail because the public was betting on the Chiefs. Regardless of what happens, it is always rigged. A player scores in garbage time because they want to get more points, or they want to get a career high, or a fan was yelling at them to hit the prop bet. They score, it's rigged. If they don't score, why didn't they score? It's also rigged. It doesn't make sense.